Where's My Jet documentary has been coming up a lot lately, but I want to tell you about another crazy Pepsi story. How in 1984, Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire during a commercial shoot for Pepsi. So for a little context, Thriller came out in 1982, so this is when Michael is becoming really big, and someone took notice of that. Jay Coleman was the owner of an entertainment marketing company, and he took the idea of working with Michael Jackson to Coca-Cola. But Coke wasn't into it because they thought anything with Michael would be too much of a targeted ethnic campaign. So he took that idea to their rivals, Pepsi. The CEO of Pepsi at the time, Roger Enrico, was wanting to take a different approach to marketing by targeting younger people, unlike Coke, who was using Bill Cosby at the time. So he thought, Michael is perfect for this, but also he's very expensive. They ended up paying Michael $5 million up front for this deal, which at the time was the most expensive marketing campaign ever. So of course the CEO is a little nervous about spending that much money on one campaign, but Michael's promoter at the time, Don King, calmed him down by saying, "This is Michael Jackson. He's bigger than God." So the deal for $5 million was for 2 commercials, a press conference appearance, and sponsorship of Michael's tour. And Michael had some demands to go along with this deal. Instead of the Pepsi jingle, he wanted to use Billie Jean in the commercials, and he also didn't want his face shown for more than 4 seconds. When you're spending $5 million on someone and you can't show their face for more than 4 seconds, it's a little nerve-wracking for the company. But at the shoot, Michael showed how committed he was to this and said, "Roger, I'm gonna make Coke wish they were Pepsi." So the first of 2 ads came out in 1983. It has some dancing kids, a little bit of Michael, no more than 4 seconds, of course. And it did really well. Pepsi saw an increase in sales, an increase in market share, and Coke's was dropping. The second ad is where all of the craziness happened. The concept of the ad was a concert. So you see Michael getting ready, you see the band run on stage, the crowd is screaming, and then Michael runs on stage, strikes a pose, some pyrotechnics go off behind him as he's dancing down the stairs. The first 5 takes of this were so smooth. On the 6th take, Michael takes an additional second in his pose at the top of the stairs, so the pyrotechnics go off while he's still there, and the sparks land on his head, and his hair catches fire. At first, it seems like he doesn't even realize that his hair is on fire because he continues dancing down the stairs, and then there's smoke, he starts spinning around, people rush in to put the fire out. It's really intense. He ended up having 2nd and 3rd degree burns on his scalp, his face, and his body. According to one of Michael's friends, the director is the one that told Michael to stand at the top of the stairs longer because he wanted the pyrotechnics to kind of frame his pose. But of course, the director denies it. Pepsi gave Michael a settlement of $1.5 million, which he donated to a medical center, and they named a burn clinic after him. The behind-the-scenes footage of this, which you can see online, didn't come out until after Michael passed away. I didn't want to show the full footage here because it's kind of intense. But when this footage came out, people started talking about how this whole incident really affected the rest of his life. His hair never grew back, so he started wearing wigs. He had multiple surgeries to repair the burns on his body and his face, and he started taking painkillers because of the pain from this incident and the resulting migraines. So a lot of people think this is where his lifelong problems started. Michael actually kept working with Pepsi after this. He felt like he understood it was an accident and didn't see any ill will towards them. Just one of the many crazy advertising stories involving Pepsi.
Yo, what's good, people? We back. Had to come through on this one right here. You know, because this the reason why they want to ban TikTok? Is this why you want to ban TikTok, fam? Because you have to salute these young researchers all around the world. They really believe that the world was going to stay at a point where they can continue to run these games and these lies. But slowly, you know, it changed. But getting to this information right here, right? Great TikTok video I saw on Michael Jackson. Because for years, it was a joke. I'm ahead. I'm ahead. You know, that's what happened. That's what they said in the American Dream movie, because they used to run the American Dream, that Michael Jackson movie, the Jacksons movie. It was unauthorized, but it really wasn't, because they had Michael Jackson was used to help you know, with this on set and everything like that. When that part comes up about, you know, Michael Jackson getting his head burnt, it was so many jokes because the Michael Jackson slander at that point had reached like all-time highs. Like, it's not all-time high, no. It reached a point of a plane, like it got like it peaked and then plateaued to where it just stayed there. You know what I'm saying? Like the Michael Jackson slander is just automatic. The Michael Jackson slander became truth. Michael Jackson's so freaky and weird. Who knows what type of hair gel he puts in his hair that attracted those flames. Michael Jackson is so weird. He probably did a dance move and put his head in the flames. Michael Jackson is so weird and freaky that he had his activator was flammable. You know what I'm saying? And that was the talking point. That was the talking point. But we know now. I mean, not we know now. We've been knowing, but now that we have enough evidence to be able to say that we know that this was an assassination attempt. That accident on the set of that Pepsi commercial was an assassination attempt on Michael Jackson. You know, and but now it's like you can say who did it. Was that a Tammi Mottola hit? Was that a Tammi Mottola hit? Was that a Clive Davis hit? Was that one of the was that an Oscar Mayer hit? Because we know Michael Jackson was really stomping down for us, and and people are so blind. Like we were so blind. Black people, we failed so bad with Michael Jackson. Like, he came, and then y'all let the media fool you. Like, how often are you guys going to? Like, how often black people are you going to continue to do this, and then expect people to still be black first? Like, we keep getting these messages from people on the highest of highest levels, on the highest of highest echelons. And we just play it off like, this nigga bugging. This nigga this nigga that. Not knowing that they are actually telling us the truth. Michael Jackson in 1984 was the biggest star in the world. How can you be the biggest star in the world in 1984, 1994? No. 1994 he had a competition, right? Because they had to bring Michael Jackson down a little bit so they can bring Michael Jordan up a little bit. But they were almost on the same level because Michael Jordan was in Michael Jackson videos in the 90s. But in 84, 2 years after he put out Thriller, biggest star in the world, he's black. Trust me, whatever you want to say about Michael Jackson being black, there was never ever any question about whether he's black or not coming from Tammi Mottola. Tammi Mottola ain't never questioned that, not for one bit. So this assassination attempt, when you hear these conditions that Michael Jackson put down, and like, don't show my face for more than 4 seconds. Remember, this is back in the 80s. This is 1984. American marketing was not on the level that it is today. And actually, we actually regressed to that. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about marketing, Future had one of the best marketing plans ever when he first came out. Do you know how long it was before we actually knew what Future looked like? You know what I'm saying? Bangers on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Bangers out in the streets, anthems out, and nobody knows what he looks like. That shit made his legend go super. You know what I'm saying? They just know it's Future. You know what I'm saying? They know it's some Future. And that right there was, where marketing had grown to. But back in 1984, when Michael Jackson said, "Don't show my face for more than 4 seconds," I'm pretty sure that ticked some of them off. That ticked some. Who does this Negro think he is? Think that he is? Because we hear a bunch of horror stories when it comes about Michael Jackson. Oh, Quincy Jones was getting this freak on. Quincy Jones was freaking off with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had been invited to freak off since he was 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? Whole bunch of freaky nastiness. But nobody really goes into soup like we know, but they don't go into the detail and attach it to these events that happened, because that battle that Michael Jackson had been having over the label, over his music and the ownership and the royalties and the money, that had been happening since Thriller came out. You know what I'm saying? Thriller was his separation from getting trains ran on him. Pause. what's the word, figuratively in these musical contracts. You know what I'm saying? After his first album, he was like, no, and I'm not playing this game no more. Like, we don't roll like that. That's what he said after his first album. So by the time Thriller came out, which is the absolute best, most selling album of all times. Don't come to me talking about no Post Malone. If you come to me talking about Post Malone numbers or some whatever little freak that you want to name, you know what I'm saying? They numbers compared to Michael Jackson's, off the wall. Like, stop it. You playing with them Tammi Mottola games with me. I ain't going for it. But you know, by the time Thriller came out, he realized, like, yo, do you see the numbers I'm doing? I should be making this much. I should be whatever Michael Jackson was paid. He was underpaid. Same thing you could say for LeBron, for any Jordan, Jackson, Tyson, all of them. However much money they made, that's them being underpaid. They're being underpaid still. LeBron got a suit like $1 billion contract with Nike. He's being underpaid, even with the $1 billion. He's being underpaid. You know what I'm saying? You telling me the NBA can't offer no $1 billion contracts, but you can invest in magnetic rims? That's wild. But this assassination attempt on Michael Jackson, did it come from Pepsi? No, I don't think it came from Pepsi. I don't like Pepsi. At this point, Coca-Cola, listen, Coca-Cola, we know where they come from. They didn't play these games either. They just wrote it off rip. They just said off rip. We're not dealing with it. It costs too much money. Bill Cosby he's a good enough Negro, especially in '84. He's good enough. So we'll take Bill Cosby, and we don't need Michael Jackson's demands, because it really is the demands that's really getting at them, not the money. It's the demands. They know that they're gonna make the money. You know what I'm saying? The demands that really get under these the butt breakers and the crackers skin. And when I say crackers and butt, that's not my terminology for all white people. No, that is my terminology. That's my terminology for them. Them, the evil ones. So this assassination attempt on Michael Jackson, a lot of people go back now and blame a lot of his aesthetic to whatever issues he had with this, his looks, to this accident. And because he said that himself, because, of course he was telling the truth, but there was also a lot of other things involved in, the quote-unquote physical transformation of Michael Jackson. You know what one part of it was? It was laying low. You know what I'm saying? Another part of it was laying low. It was like, yo, get these niggas off of my dick, please. Like, I can't take this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what a part of it was. It was like, yo, these niggas on my dick so hard. I think if I get a nose job, let's see if they fall back and don't recognize me when I go out. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if I bleach my skin, if they still gonna be on this shit. That was a percentage of it too. I'm not gonna say it was 100%, but that was a percentage of it. Like, yo, get whatever I gotta do to get them off. Like, this is nasty. Michael Jackson was really him. So all this talk that you hear now, the belittling of Michael Jackson's legacy and everything like that, that's done by devil worshippers to make it seem as if talent, because when Michael Jackson, what really truly spoke to, it was talent over everything. It wasn't not just talent. It was fostered talent over everything, because everybody got talent. Everybody got some shit that they could do, but when you fostered talent, it was like molded perfectly. You know what I'm saying? That over everything. That plus the knowledge. He had esoteric knowledge. He had Black history knowledge. He had spiritual knowledge. So this guy was very dangerous to them. So when you're on that level, what the only thing that can bring you down is like the absolute worst thing, which is what we know today is like accepted in schools and promoted by this filthy administration that we have now. Like, it's promoted the molestation and the playing with children's sex lives, you know what I'm saying? Playing with children's and sex, like that's promoted to you. But that's actually the deepest and most nastiest, lowest level thing that can happen. You know what I'm saying? So of course that's what you would have to put on Michael Jackson to bring him down when he got all of this. But this was an assassination attempt. I'm gonna get to the next Michael Jackson video. I'm gonna talk a little bit about I'm gonna be talking about Michael Jackson today. Hey, I know people talk about, is Tupac still alive? Is Tupac still alive? Is Michael Jackson still alive? You know?